Hi and welcome to episode 3 of the Yarn Lovers podcast. My name is Lindsay and I am your host. You can find me on Ravelry as Callie Astra, and you can find me on Plurk, Twitter and Facebook as Yarn Lovers. We now have a Ravelry group which you can join, and there you have an introductions thread. If you would like to introduce yourself, then please do. I will give some shout outs to the members of the group who joined and introduced themselves this week. CM Glenn, Breezy54, Alison J, Jamal Knitter and Maria Wilhelmina. Thank you for introducing yourself. It's always nice to read about new people. You will have been entered into the draw for the giveaway for last week, which I will do a bit later on. This week has been a bit strange. The children were off school. Arthur went back on Friday, so he had one day at school and then he was straight into the weekend. I was sick until probably Sunday afternoon, Monday morning, and my partner was working on Saturday, so it was a bit of an odd weekend. I did, however, get a lot of knitting done, which leads me straight into finished objects, which I have this week. The first thing I finished was the fingerless mitts that I was working on. I say finished, I've not woven in the ends yet. There we go. I didn't really follow any pattern in particular for these. I had read a few patterns and got the general idea of how to do it. I rather like the striping. I've never knit with self-striping yarn before. I've had this in my stash for a long time, and it's just standard silk yarn, and I leaf it very well. I just knitted an inch of ribbing and then knitted up decreased for the wrist. Increased for the thumb and then got some more ribbing again, and yes, they're good. They match fairly well, and as I say, I've not woven in the ends yet. I cast the second one on. I was at knit night on Wednesday, although I was sick, and I cast the second one on and did probably half of the ribbing because I was talking, and I can't knit when I talk. I brought it home and I did the entire glove the next day, on Thursday, so I was pretty pleased. The next thing I have is the Dark Side Cowl. I hadn't cast this on last week. When I did the podcast, I decided to do it on the Thursday or the Friday. My local knitting group, there are only 4 of us, are having our swap, and I needed to make something for the swap, so I hope that none of them will watch it. I may actually make something else because I rather like this. The colour's very bad because I'm recording at night, but it's Sheepy Time knits yarn, and it is fleckety. I showed it last week actually, I just got it, which is an Aran weight, and it's in the Grapes of Wrath colourway. I will put it on. Let's see. There we go. Again with the ends. I'm going to sit down and weave in all my ends tomorrow. There. Which I quite like. My son gets very embarrassed when I start trying to wear it as a hat. He spent quite a long time laughing at me. But yeah, I like how it turned out. The pattern shows off the yarn very well. So that's the second thing. The third thing I finished was the socks. I finished the socks. I was going to do these on the last one. I'd had the first one finished and I was going to do the second one on Sunday, or Saturday. I don't know what I did on Saturday, but Sunday I wasted an entire day. I tried to teach myself to knit continental style, which I ended up with severe hand cramp and just couldn't go on. I think I managed to do probably 100 stitches or so, and I just had, my hand was so cramped up in there that I just couldn't do it. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I watched various tutorial videos and I still can't get it. My hand feels very, very awkward when I'm trying to hold the yarn in the other hand. So I gave up on that. I then tried to teach myself to crochet. I don't know why, and I couldn't do that either. I tried for a good hour and a half and I just couldn't get it right. Perhaps it was the yarn I was using, or I was using the wrong size of hook or something. I was using Lopi, which is Icelandic yarn, which is very, very fuzzy and very splitty, so that may not have helped. It's a single ply yarn, it's barely twisted at all, it's barely spun, so it breaks very easily. So I gave up on that, and then I spent the entire sort of Sunday evening looking at patterns. So those are going to the recipients, and those are knit in Panda Feet, which is another Sheepy Time yarn, and in the Ruby Slippers colourway, and those are Kiki Mona socks. I decided to knit a pair of socks a month this year, and I am actually working my way in order through I can't remember the name of the book. Knit Sock Love. So I've done the first two. Those were the second, and the next ones are BFF. And I don't know whether I should cast on those or whether I should just do a very quick pair of vanilla socks in a variegated yarn, which I have here. Which is Regia 4-ply, and it is colour 5025. It's really pastel-y. There's a bit of aqua in there. I don't know what it's going to knit up like. It is a bit clown barfy, but we'll see. So I don't know whether to do that or whether to do a decent pair, possibly out of this. The only other thing I have finished, which I want to show you, and I finished these a very long time ago, and I promised last week that I would show them, and I happen to have washed them, so I will show them. The ugliest thing I have ever knit is this pair of socks. It was the first pair of socks I ever knit, and they're okay, they fit, they're comfortable, but they're pretty vile. The colours are horrible. I don't know what possessed me to buy the ball of yarn. It's the same brand as this one. It was a K Facet colourway, I think. But there you go. They're full of holes. I was very bad at heels, and there's a random hole in the bottom of this one. There. I missed something. But I was very pleased with myself because I had made socks, and socks to me looked so difficult as they do to most new knitters. You've got this, you know, you have to handle DPNs for the first time, and you've got to do heels, and I thought I would be clever and do a lace part at the top, and I stole this lace edging from a vest pattern which I had, and it's feathered fan. But it doesn't really work because it rolls down, and I didn't know that I should do ribbing at the top of socks to make them hold. But anyway, there they are. I'm sure everyone has knit something very ugly. They're also very wide because I knit them on the wrong size of needle. but they do sort of fit, and I wear them in my house. On the needles, I have one thing at the moment, and I think the only thing I did with it this week is 2 rows, and it is the tunic shawl. I've got another, as I say, 2, possibly 3 rows done. Sorry about the noise, there's something going past outside. Sounds like a gritter lorry. Perhaps we're going to get ice and snow. There we go. I rather like the shaping of it actually. It's quite nice. I can see how it's going to sit around your neck. But I did realise this because I was doing everything else. I knit that entire sock yesterday, pretty much. I had done the ribbing at the top, possibly half a pattern repeat, and I think I knit on it for 9 or 10 hours yesterday at least, and I finished it at 1:30 this morning. But I'm glad it's done, and I can give it to its recipient. I was rather behind on that one. I don't have anything else on the needles. My Rock Island shawl edging is still sitting there, not on any needles at all, and I'm not quite sure what to knit next. I will do a pair of socks because I always do a pair of socks, but as I said, I don't know whether to do just a standard pair of socks or whether to do the BFF Kuka'e pattern from the Knit Sock Love book. I tend to give all my fancy socks away and keep the really horrid ones, or the plain ones. If I knit something fancy like that, I will give it to someone. Perhaps I deserve a fancy pair of socks. I put up I don't know if you've been on the blog in the last few days, but I put up a poll to ask if I should put the Rock Island shawl back on the needles, or whether I should knit something new. And we now have, the last time I checked, we had 4 votes. There was 1 this morning up to sort of the mid-afternoon, and then my friend decided to go and vote on it, and he tied the vote. But thankfully another 2 people have now voted, and apparently I'm not making the Rock Island shawl, I am doing something new. I don't know about you, but I spend half of my knitting life looking at patterns on Ravelry, and I think I've sort of decided on something. I downloaded the Hogwarts Express pattern, which is from Stitch Nerd. It's the one with the little owls along the bottom, made from cables, and you put beads in the eyes. And I'm probably going to knit it with this, which is not showing very well again because of the light. I showed this last week. It's the Special Snowflakes Club yarn for this month. It's the base is called Pearl Necklace, and the colourway is Grey Matter. And I don't know if you can see that the base is quite interesting. It really does look like a little string of pearls. That won't focus. So we'll see how that works. I've never done beaded knitting before, so I have watched a couple of tutorials and it looks really simple. I'll probably just use a crochet hook, but I don't know what kind of beads to buy. It's probably trial and error at this point. So I think I will cast on that later this evening once I've wound the wool. Oh, I have news. My friend Aaron is currently unemployed. He's just been made redundant from Sega Australia, and he's moved back in with his parents in Germany. Aaron does a lot of woodwork and DIY. He's also a fantastic cook, but he's offered to make me a yarn swift, and I would love a yarn swift. I spend so much time in this kitchen, either with my son sat like this, complaining bitterly that he's been sat like that for 15-20 minutes, holding my yarn whilst I hand wind it into a ball, or I spend just hours in here with it taut between two kitchen chairs. The yarn for the tunic shawl, which is 6 balls of lace weight, just took me hours and hours and hours. I basically spent an entire day winding the yarn. So Yarn Swift will be very helpful. And perhaps I can con someone to buy me a ball winder. And then I will be able to knit more and wind less. Right, what is new this week? I have 2 new things. You're going to be sick of hearing sheepy time shortly. There is a slight story behind this. This is sheepy time yarns, and it's panda feet, which is the same as those socks, and it is in the grape colourway. I believe it's not actually written on the label, but I think it's grape. It's a very pretty lilac-y purple colour, and it is 80% superwash merino and 20% bamboo rayon. There is 430 yards in this, so it should make a fairly decent pair of socks or something. I had quite a lot left over from those actually. My friend has particularly big feet, or I have particularly small feet, and I'm not used to knitting large socks. I'm a UK size 3, so my feet are pretty much child size. I'm under 5 foot tall, so my feet are tiny. My hands are tiny. Those mittens wouldn't fit anyone else. The other thing I got in the same package, and as I say there is a story behind this, is this beautiful, beautiful thing. This is sheepy feet from Sheepy Time Yarns. And there's hair stuck to it. It's like cat hair. It's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, and the colour is burnt orange. There are 464 yards on this. It's obviously a fingering weight. It looks rather brown on camera, and it also looks very brown if you photograph it, or brown and orange. But I was amazed when I took it out of the packet, because there is orange in there, there's green in there, there's pink in there. It really is lovely. I'm so glad that I got this. I had ordered 3 schemes of yarn in 2 separate orders. One a few days before Christmas and one a few days after Christmas, I think. And I had asked for them to be shipped with my club yarn, because then I get free postage, which is great. And my club yarn turned up, which is this one here, and it turned up with the yarn that I made the cowl with, and there was nothing else in the packet, and I thought, sure, I ordered more than that. And I checked my receipts, and I emailed the lady, Mandy, who has the shop, and she was very, very apologetic. She doesn't understand how it happened. Something had gotten mixed up somewhere. The odd thing was that the order had been split. The yarn that I did get was from the order which I had ordered 2. So she didn't understand how it happened. She sent me these very quickly. The problem was this one I had not ordered. I had ordered another one of a very similar colourway. It was an exclusive club colourway, which I can't remember the name of. It may have been Ancient Ruins or something, which is browns with flecks of orange in. And unfortunately she'd only had 1 scheme left, and she'd already sold it. So she sent me a photograph of this one, or said please choose anything else from the shop and I will send it to you. And I was so glad that I got this because it's very, very pretty. It's beautiful. I hadn't seen this on the shop, so she must have had it. It's been an old one that she's kept, and I don't know what to do with it at the moment. I find hand-dyed yarns, especially the fairly variegated ones, I will find a pattern for them which will just remind me of that yarn, and then I have to knit that yarn into that pattern. The likes of these fairly standard ones, I will tend to make socks and things. The exception to that is the skein that I got, the Into the World Club yarn, a week or two ago, Mercy Hartigan. I do not want to knit that into anything. I don't know if anyone else has this issue, but it's so beautiful. I just want to keep it as it is. I don't want to even wind it into a ball because it will mess up what it looks like. And I'm sure I'll get over that once I get a few more of these, but at the moment I just won't touch it. It's sat in a box and I look at it every so often, but I don't want to knit with it, which is a shame because it's supposed to be knit into something, but I don't know what. Right, I may as well at this point do the giveaway. What I said was, if you introduce yourself on the Ravelry group, then you will get one entry, and if you comment on the blog, then you will get one entry. And what I am going to do is I am going to use random.org, numbers in here. First I will do blog. I have one comment on this blog. If my number comes up, then I will obviously do it again, and I think we have 9 comments. Yes, we do. So let's see, random.org, minimum 1, maximum 9, generate 9, and 9 is right down at the bottom. Chelsea Wall, and you have one Sheepy Time Yarns Pixie, either in Berry Pie or in Orchid. Excuse me. So one of these 2 skeins. Link to Ravelry. Right, there were 14 on here. I am number 1. I am also number 4, number 6, and number whatever. If it lands on me again, then I will. Is it again? So 2 to 14. Generate 9 again. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. CM Glen. If you PM me on Ravelry, then I just PM me your address and I will send that out to you. Chelsea, I will send you an email and you can give me your address and I'll get those posted off this week. Right, let me see what else was I going to do. Oh yes, right. I was going to show you a book. It's not really a book review, but I will show you this. I'm a member of the, I have a Rowan subscription, Rowan Yarn subscription, so I get their magazine twice yearly, and this is the latest one. I've actually had it for a little while now, but I thought I would show you some of the things in it. If you've never seen one, what they do is they split the designs into 3 categories. The first one in this book is Artisan. Let me see, Artisan, Riviera and Essentials. I'm not particularly impressed with the patterns in this time. That's a lie. The patterns are fine, they're not to my taste. The last book, number 50, I loved. I would have knit everything out of that. Certain things like this. The book itself is beautiful, and the photography in it is stunning. I like this stripy sweater, but I have a slight issue with the what looks like eyes on the women's nipples. So if I did knit that, I would have to change that, because that really does look a bit strange to me. The colours are nice. Possy, and it's cotton, it's not cotton. Other things like that, which I'm not very keen on, I'm afraid. I do prefer this section to the next section though. Let me just get to the next section. There's things like this. It's Trailblazer, which is okay, but I wouldn't be in any rush to knit it. Let's see. Here we go. Here's the next section. Again, the photography is beautiful. The models are very beautiful. The setting is very nice. These patterns are just not to my taste. I wouldn't ever knit them because I wouldn't ever wear them. I'm not a huge fan of stripes. It looks a bit like a rugby shirt. Oh my god, sorry. I meant to be moved. It's very 50s. It's nice but to look at. The patterns in these are always well written. I have knit a scarf from one of these before. There are always a few men's patterns in here. Again, that to me is very 80s. Man looks like George Michael. Similar to Kimonos. I'm a bit disappointed in that the last section, which is called Essentials, has a lot of the patterns from the first and second sections in it. So there's a bit of doubling up there, they're just knit in different colours. The one thing I do really like out of this is Ella, which is a crochet tee. And as I said earlier, I can't crochet, but that is very pretty. It's very nice. And I wish I had that lady's hair. And that's pretty nice. Amelia, it's called. I'm not sure I would wear it though. Yeah, as I said, there's a bit of repetition in here. That's the one earlier that was in green, that's in blue. That's quite nice, it's interesting. It's a woven stitch. It's called Mia, it's called. Again, it's cotton. I don't know whether it's me and spring and summer patterns that I'm not very keen on. I tend to like the winter books better. But there we go. perhaps I just don't like the knitwear fashion at the moment. But there are plenty of other things on Ravelry to keep me occupied, if I can ever decide what to do. If anyone has any suggestions for any of the yarn that I've shown, then please feel free to post on Ravelry or comment on the blog and let me know. I think that's everything I wanted to say this week. Let me just check. Yes, I have shown my horrible socks. No, I don't know what I'm knitting. Okay, I think that's it. I hope to see you again next week. Goodbye from, well, dark Surrey now because it's 9 o'clock at night. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.